Oni here with another play along for Dumdums. Today I am just trying to solve my oxygen crisis. So we're having some really nasty oxygen problems. It's mitigated right now. We have our gases, which are doing okay, and our breathability is doing great outside of this weird little pocket right here, which it doesn't have a lot of space to go down here, and I intentionally did that up here to capture oxygen here, so this is okay. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's okay. But we're running low on algae. I don't want to open up algae rich areas like here, like here, because it has so much slime lung, or slime and slime lung. So I'm just, I'm trying not to get any germs, but sometimes, your dupes got to get sick, and that's just the way it is. But trying to, stay honest, make sure they don't get sick. So here's this monstrosity that I started to make today, which is essentially a very simple electrolyzer with gas pumps combined, and this will filter in and cool from these Weezewhorts that I pulled from this area in here, which are actively cooling down this gas. This is not the gas you want to use. You want to use hydrogen for this, so I'm going to pump some hydrogen in here, and we'll use that, a nice thick amount of it. And in order to do that, I'm putting a liquid lock so I can pump all this out, and then we'll pump the hydrogen inside of there. So overall, this is a work in progress, but wanted to call it an episode because I sort of went through and tried to figure out exactly like what was available for an oxygen setup here, just because the clock is ticking. Because we're sort of working with this SPOM setup, we're going to need lots of water, and there's not a lot of water, so I'm going to have to resort to doing things like melting ice or some other means to get water until I can find something that can help us out, because without the water, we need the water, so in order for this to work. So all right, well, hope you enjoy the episode, and I do not have a beginner build for this because, well, I do not consider this to be finished, but I will have one later once I am done building this little oxygen generator and cooler. Okay, thanks so much, guys, and hope you enjoy watching me scramble and build the episode. I'm having some huge issues with my oxygen, and it's really because my algae just cannot quite keep up. There is lots of problems that I'm running into. I don't really want to open up the slime. There is some algae near slime, but it's just, we're getting close to hell freezing over. There's a pocket of algae down here. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go down. We're gonna get this algae down here, and I'm gonna build this out of granite, because that is what is in the area. And I'm going to get this algae. Okay. And then we're gonna try to solve our problems. So, okay, that should do it. Okay. So we're building this down. Now this is maybe a little hot down here, but we have to get in here. We're gonna need some water. We're gonna need some other things. There's also, I see down here, here's a thing. We're gonna go see what that is. But essentially the issue that I'm running into is that we just need oxygen. We're running low, and we need to go get some. So we're gonna also come over here and check out and see what this is. So when you get low on oxygen, you really want to try to take care of it like as soon as you can, because it can get bad. Your dupes will suffocate and will die. So you know, you want to do it right. So one of the great things about this, opening this up, is now we're going to be able to have some ice. So this snow is really good, and you want to pretty much keep this as locked in as you can so it stays cool for the long term. But you know, that's one of the nice things about going and seeing what this is. So when you see this neutronium, this is saying that it's a this is what these things live on. So we can go see what kind of a geyser or whatever we're looking at. And it looked like we had another one down here. So I think I am going to open up more of this area. And we're gonna go see. Now, do I want to go that way, or do I want to go? I think I actually want to go this way. So when you're digging, just, you know, be careful. You want to make sure you're digging smartly and not like a dum-dum, like an Oni for Dumdums. Okay, looks like we have some igneous here, so we're gonna go ahead and do a little something like that. And of course, just kind of do it like that. Okay. All right, so we're building. Okay, make sure you don't get stuck here. All right, let's see what we have available. We have pufflets, but I don't want that right now. I also don't want any more guys because of our oxygen problem. Okay, so it looks like we're doing this now. Is this disabled? Should it be disabled? It's sending a green signal, so if it's below 7. I think we want this to be 4. Yeah. So we don't want like a ton of guys in here. Oh, wait a second. If it's below 8, that's what it was. Because we want. Okay, so this one's calling for 1 here because this has 5 critters in here. Okay, let's see. All right, we dug this out. I think we need 1 more square. So you don't want to dig these out entirely. You just want to dig them out enough to where you can highlight over it and see what it is. So I think we need 1 more square for that. And make sure you're not dying. So we're going down. We're getting this algae. That's going to be priority number 1. So we're going to set this to expedite. There's my ducky. So cute. All right, and maybe I will, looks like I pumped all this out of the reservoir. Let's go ahead and toggle these. Just make sure we're actively managing this. Now we've got our loop going. All right, yellow alert. All right, so we built this out. So this is a chlorine gas vent. So we will get chlorine out of this, which is excellent. Chlorine gas. We love our chlorine gas. We can turn it into liquid chlorine, or we can turn it into chlorine gas if we have it at this temperature. So, okay, so things we can do with this. Well, we can use the Dasha salt vine and turn chlorine gas and sand into salt. We can also feed it to our puffs, or the puff prints. It also gets generated by the rust deoxidizer. So the only functional thing we can do is feed puffs as well as turn sand and chlorine into salt. But we can get some nice bleach stone out of it, which will which is an essential ingredient for the hand sanitizer and for turning water weed into into lettuce. So really good stuff here that we can use it for. Looks like we can make biodiesel with it too. So we will be wanting a puffed farm. I've never actually made this before. So that's, you know, maybe that is revealing of how deep I've been into this game. So maybe we'll get there as I play. Okay. Let's see. So we're solving oxygen problems. So that's one way. So essentially what we're looking for is, hey, is there an oxygen geyser or is there a water geyser? So those are the things that we're taking a look at to make sure that we are not just getting destroyed. Okay. Now this is going. That's great. This one's going. And this one's going. Okay, so we do have some breathability coming back in, which is exactly what we need. All right, so temperature overlay is an easy way to sort of see these guys. They kind of blend in certain areas, but not in all. Okay, need some more research. Go ahead and get this gas. All right, so we're just building down to see what this is down here and to see if there's anything we can sort of do about it. So you see we've created a vacuum. This will happen if you just keep clicking around. This will happen if your liquids are blocking. So gases can't go diagonal, they can only go sort of over and up. They can only move to these 4 plus signs. So if it's here, it can go up, left, right, or down. So right here, there's no gas. So as long as this water is here, it creates what is known as a liquid lock, and it because this water can't fall down, it has created a vacuum in this area. So rather excellent stuff. All right. So is there just easy? So we have granite here. So maybe I'll change these to be. Oh, or was it granite before? I don't know. And then we'll do our same dig out, just like that. Expedite. Now I see some oxalite here, so this is also going to be good for getting that oxygen that we need. Ideally, that would be like up in a more advantageous area, but for now, we're chilling like this. Okay, so relocate here. Can we actually do a relocate? Cancel relocate. Let's see. I think the relocate is just such a low priority. That's why it's not. Or maybe it's because these buildings. No, those are disabled. Anyways. Alright, so we're building down. We're just seeing what this is. Now, occasionally you'll just run into this problem where it's like you start getting hosed. And that's when you're going to want to start looking at trying to build an electrolyzer. Now, the issue with an electrolyzer is it costs water. So if your water tank's looking like mine, you're gonna want to start filtering it, or just start pumping this into that, and then pumping that into your electrolyzer. I'm not sure if the electrolyzer gets rid of germs. So I'm gonna look that up real quick and see while we're building. Get rid of germs in Oni. Okay, electrolyzers do not remove germs from water input. So we do need them to be germs in water do not survive the electrolyzer process. Okay, so we can just pump it in, but we do want to make sure to see. We want to see what this is. I want to see what kind of iron volcano. So this is great because now we have easy, unlimited iron. And that's excellent. But none of this is water. So that is a small problem that we are going to need to fix. Okay, so I think what we're gonna have to do is start a SPOM setup, and I think that is gonna have to be in its own episode. What a SPOM is essentially an electrolyzer right here and a gas pump, essentially combined. So the gas pump accepts, let's see, it can pump 500 per second, whereas the electrolyzer can output 1,000. So it outputs this much hydrogen, this much gas. Now, there's a lot of different builds that you can do with these. Let's see, where's a good spot for me to build this? We want it in our hot area, which is going to be down here. So I'm going to give one chunk of space, and we're going to start it right here. So we're going to do 1, 2. So you'll see how I like to do this because it's simple. Like that's usually what I'm going for is just what's the simplest way to make this and not what's the most I already did this backwards. Okay, boop, get rid of that, and boop, and then we want to get our electrolyzer here. Okay, so we're gonna do, this is an isolated hot room, so we're gonna do it like that. And we are intentionally leaving a buffer here because that is how I do it. And I leave a buffer there because I want to be able to run pipes and stuff freely. And I also, it does help a little bit with the fact that you have these airlocks. By isolating them, by separating them out, you can sort of mitigate the exposure of the temperature exposure is less. And we definitely don't want that airlock there. Okay, so here's the basic build. It's very simple, very straightforward. You'll see some people like to do it like this, where it's like they'll like do like a gas locks type of a thing, where like one pump will be up here and another one will be like down here. I do need to leave one space here because we do want to automate this just a pinch, and I just do a simple automation, and then I filter it from these guys. So it's not like I don't, like some people filter it right away. I don't. I filter it as after it gets pumped in, just because it's I like the lower profile setup, and I like to be able to control, like I want dupes to be able to walk in and out of here and do maintenance if that needs to happen. We just need a pressure Atmos sensor, so we will do just that, and that will connect to our automation. That will connect to these guys. So again, just really simple, and then that I started building, don't actually need that. Okay, this is water. So we're gonna run our water there. We'll take it all the way over, and we're gonna close this gap, open this up, and lower this by 1. Is Meemaw peeing her pants? Hopefully not. Okay, buildings. Okay, So we're building this, and they're getting rid of this stuff so we can access all this stuff. And then I close this up with a lock. Ideally, it is powered, but doesn't necessarily have to be. Now, this also needs to be someone suffocating. So Mima, looks like Mima is stuck here. So we gotta expedite this, and this is an emergency. We cannot let Mima die. Okay. Emergency over. This, getting rid of that is actually what we gotta do first, and then you guys can build up there. Okay, so this stuff also has to be cooled. So you need to think about how you're gonna be cooling this. And there's a few different ways to do it. One is to just say, bring it over to, an icy area. But another way to do it is using Weezewhorts. And the other way, which is my favorite way, is to just not change the temperature of it at all, and to use an aqua tuner setup to cool water that is pumping through your base. Now, I've done this, so many different ways, but in general, this is sort of where I've landed as the smoothest setup. And I think what we'll do, because I don't have the aqua tuner setup, is I will show you the Weezewhort build, and then we can go from there. Okay, so I add a little buffer here. Add a buffer, and I am intentionally connecting these. And I'm going to intentionally connect them like this. Okay. And then we're gonna just have this one pipe just be our first sort of setup. Maybe we'll bring it down. I am flying all over the place here. Gas pipes, get rid of those. Okay, we're gonna bring it. We'll bring it down. Gotta make up my mind here. Gotta make my mind up. Maybe we'll put it in here. Okay. What's this? Oh, that's right. Uranium. Okay. All right. So when you do this, you're gonna want a Weezewhort room, and this is essentially just a room where you can put these little guys that can be cooled, and they essentially, as you run this, you can actually build the room, which is cool because it creates the hydrogen. So we're gonna just do, what is this? We'll just do a 9 by. So we do want this to be managed by this guy. We'll just do an 8 by. We're already here. We'll do an 8 by. All right, so we need 1, 2, we'll just do it like that. Okay, and then bada bing. Okay, so they come across, so we're not gonna close it in yet, but we will. Gotta mop. Careful about closing this off. Okay, so the Weezewhorts, now you can have them be planted by a pip, and maybe we'll do that later, but we're just going to use the good old planter box. And then in an ideal world you would pump all this out and liquid lock it, but I think we have so much carbon dioxide. Oops. No, don't care about the skills at the moment. We'll take the barbecue. Research. Let's get these plastic, and then we're going to need our next research pretty soon here. Looks like our oxygen is returning at least slightly to normalcy. Let's get an airflow dial on these ends. I think I got rid of that before. All right, so Weezewhorts. Where are Weezewhorts at? Farming overlay. Here it is. Okay, so I see this. I see this. I know see Weezewhorts. Here's one. Does it not count as a farming overlay? Well, I see one here. So, oh, I forgot about Frankie until this moment. Frankie, no. Oh, I forgot I killed you. Okay, so these guys. So what these guys do is they will they absorb heat. See? Cooling effect. Lowers ambient air temperature. So essentially what you do is this will output the oxygen and hydrogen. So it'll essentially just separate out the H from the O in the H2O, and it'll output hydrogen and oxygen, but it will heat it up. So it heats it up to 75, or if it is 80 degrees, for instance, it will cool it down. Oni trick. And when it does that, it will output it at 75. So 75 is too hot. 75 is close to scorching. So most your plants can't survive in 75. This is 25 in here. But it has to be between 10 and 30. Your dupes don't like it, so no one really likes it. So you can see that's where like this mealwood, it can almost grow, but the atmosphere is bad because it has all this chlorine gas. So we're actually really close to be able to do that. Okay. Okay. Build. So we're gonna leave some space for a few different Weezewhorts here. But that's what we're aiming to build. Okay, so let's go grab one. And let's see, what route should we take? Maybe should we go... I want to keep it as clean as possible. Here's some sulfur, here's some igneous rock, so maybe let's dig that. And we'll go say hi to Frankie on our way to go get our Weezewhorts. Let's just kind of go. Let's do kind of like a little lock. Kind of a little lock, because liquid's gonna pop down here as the heat comes in, and that way we can go get this guy. Okay, and then I'm always really careful. I want to. Especially in this, because there's snow and the snow will fall. This white stuff is the snow. Okay, and this way we can uproot these guys. Looks like there is another one up here, and we have some granite. So let's see, we'll do some granite here, and then we'll just watch for the snow. Okay. We're gonna do a little something like this, and we'll leave the sleet wheat. This is stuff that naturally will exist here, and you can harvest it in. Looks like we're all done with that research. So let's go ahead and just start on this next chunk. Which maybe we shouldn't because of our water. We're going to be needing it really quick here. Okay. All right, so we're going to want to be placing some Weezewhorts here. Now, the best building to have... Oh, and here's the other thing, is we're going to want this on a separate zone. I mean, this is going to take up quite a bit of power, especially if it's running all the time. So we're going to, using our same little system here, we're coming down. We're planting it right here. See? Okay. Which, you know, we're starting to get into slime lung territory, which is no good, but don't need to get into it yet. We're really riding it. Okay, so we will need tile here. Let's go ahead and insulate. All right, things are looking good. So this is going to be our long-term plan for our oxygen solution. We're going to be using this electrolyzer setup, and then fucking, sorry for swearing, but I mean, come on, man. This is how it happens. This is insanity. What are you even doing over there on that side? What are you doing? I genuinely don't understand what you're doing up there. Really don't get it. You just build that. Someone else go build this. My goodness. Okay, so you want this locked off. You want this locked off. This is gonna be hot. This is gonna be cold. Now this is gonna be in the hot chamber, but it's being used by this hot stuff, so that's okay. We just want to make sure that the hot stuff, we can cool it with our electrolyzer later. And you know, maybe we actually don't need to cool this stuff with our electrolyzer. Maybe all we need to cool is, I think we will run some cooling. Like we kind of have to. Yeah. All right, so we're actually gonna close this off. Give that some separation. And maybe we will also do it there. Okay. All right. Have we got? Oh yeah, we have one Weezewhort. Go ahead and plant it. Okay. Looks like this is an unreachable dig because of this. See it? As you build out, you know, you just kind of do a little scan, look for more of that neutralium or whatever it's called. Gotta find it. Normally it's like a slightly different temperature than what else is around. I'm seeing these fossils down here. Okay. This we will need one more. All right, so we have this Weezewhort, which can be dug up. We don't have to worry about the snow falling. It's only one piece, so that's actually okay. And you'll see eventually this ice will it'll melt. It'll go to, but it'll create a lock here for us, a little water lock, which will help insulate it a little bit more. Okay, so we have one Weezewhort going. Now these need a certain kind of, not that, but these need some phosphorus. Okay, so in order to make sure that we're getting phosphorus, I will add a little dump in this area. So you go to shipping. Ideally you would have a receptacle thing, but even just a conveyor chute is okay. And this will get manually operated by dupes. So they will come and dump it in, so then it could be used for this process. And I say ideally it's in a receptacle, because that way they don't just regularly dump it in over and over and over again. But we're just gonna set up like this and it'll be a-okay. Okay, power. So we're gonna need to run some wire here. Just like all of our other setups, this requires power. Okay, very simple. Well, we'll need to run a lot of heavy watt wire, so we're gonna need a lot more iron or something else. So this volcano, this outputs molten iron, and it can be cooled to create just normal iron. But the problem is that it outputs at an insane temperature. So in order to sort of control this, you need lots of water in here, or you need a means to sort of harness the volcano. All right, so we're gonna put 3 Weezewhorts in here, which isn't really enough to effectively cool this our situation, but it'll help a little bit. But we might run into problems, and what I should do is pump all this out and put a little liquid lock in here. Once we have these connected, I'm gonna jig this together here. Let's see. Well, we will need simple liquid lock. See, this is going to be entirely enclosed. So we'll close this, and let's see, maybe a liquid lock with access from here. Liquid lock this. All right, so there's our Weezewhort, and then let's see. I don't want to open up this uranium, but I do want to sort of wiggle in here. So I think we can dig out this lead. We'll leave the diagonal. There we go. Don't want to open this either. But putting this here so we can access back the other way. Leave that ladder there for the liquid lock. Okay, so that's looking good. So I think at a later episode, I'll finish this up, but essentially this setup is, I don't have it filtering yet, but essentially it will take the gas, it'll filter it out as this gets pumped, and it'll have an exhaust port where any gases that we don't want will also get placed out of here, and which will probably just be carbon dioxide because of sort of the way that this breathability here is going. And so we'll probably just dump it back up here into the space as a priority dump spot with a high pressure thing. And then it will go through these Weezewhorts, which should be in a hydrogen only cage. That's why I'm going to pump all this out and create a vacuum. So I'm going to build all of it, and then I'm going to pump it out, and we're going to put a little liquid lock in here too. I'll just do that really quick here. A little liquid lock. That way we can still sort of manage it if we need to get in there. It'll be really cold, but it'll be worth it. You can see it's already kind of cooling down a little bit. So, but you want this to be hydrogen because it cools faster. It's more interactive. All right, I'm gonna stop it there. Let's grab our printable, and then we will do some more. Ooh, oxyfern seed, excellent. We will do some more later. Thanks so much, guys.